afternoon, cigar lovers. It's Tam here again, and welcome to Cigarsindia.in, India's largest and most trusted retailer of cigars online. And today the boys have set me a challenge of reviewing this. It sounds very interesting. It's Diesel Unlimited. It's a nice presentation box. And it has various stamps and insignia on it, which make it more intriguing. The reason why we wanted to try this is because it's had such good reviews, generally through various reviewers and critics, and so we thought, well, let's see what this cigar is about. Now, this particular cigar, it's a Robusto. Let me just take the lid off and slide it. It comes in a nice presentation, with a nice Hessian ribbon, you could say, glorified ribbon. So gives it some kind of rustic quality, you could say. I'll just pick my cigar out already. And this is what it looks like when it comes out of the wrapper. Again, this wrapper doesn't have much oils coming through it, so it hasn't been in there for very long. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing. The interesting thing about this is that the band is at the foot of the cigar rather than at its usual end you'd expect. Now, the dimensions of this is considered a Robusto, although it's technically slightly larger, and they have actually provided the details here. So it's 5.5 inches by 54 ring gauge, and this specific vitola is actually described as a D.5. So they have various other expressions in this range, but this one is considered a Robusto. It's got a firm feel to it. It's got a nice wrapper, although it does look a bit veiny. Maybe that's just the physical appearance. It may not really impact on the draw and also the smoking experience. In terms of flavour, or the nose of the cigar, it's got a nice smell. It's got a pleasantly aged smell. I can smell leather, certainly, and it also smells a bit like a book, an old book, and you leaf through the pages. It has that kind of smell to it. So it should be interesting smoke. Let me just cut it. Actually, it's quite rough on the lips and the tongue as well. This is something which you wouldn't find, say, perhaps with a Cuban cigar, because the wrapper leaf on that is silky smooth. This has quite a rough wrapper, and I can't pick any flavours coming out of this. There's no caffeine quality or anything at the moment. Again, not necessarily a bad thing. I'm not picking any spice at the moment. I'm just picking something which is actually it looks like it's been aged for some time. Whether that is the case or not, I really don't know, but it is pleasant nonetheless. And the aroma of the smoke is still there. It's very nice. Anyway, I'll let this settle in for a short while and just give you a bit more information on the cigar. So they wanted big vitolas, a booming kind of quality with lots of flavour, boldness, and density and complexity. To be honest, I think this so far hasn't disappointed. It certainly has a bold flavour, especially for something which is not coming from Cuba. This, as I said, was from Nicaragua and comes from the Esteli region. And one of the reasons for my intrigue in this smoke and willingness to try it was the fact that it actually comes from Nicaragua and the Esteli region, because from my experience of the cigars I've had there, and I'm kind of new to the Nicaraguan vitolas of cigars, I really haven't been disappointed. They offer so much complexity, flavour and boldness. So going by this description and rubric from the producers of this particular range, it's certainly met up to those standards. The Diesel Unlimited is, in terms of its construction, again, it's quite interesting. It's fitted with a dark Habano Ecuador Ligero wrapper leaf, which is this one, with oils, although some commentators have said it's so oily. This one seems a bit slightly drier, but in no way is it overly dry. It just doesn't seem as oily as I would have expected it to be. It looks, yes, someone said, like a tasty chocolate, and it certainly does. The filler itself is it's a rich, long filler, and it's tobacco from the Condega and Esteli Nicaragua combination, with a spicy San Andreas leaf to create a strikingly robust and good smoke with intense flavors. In terms of the notes to expect, you get something like leather, spice, earth, oak, and it should be rounded with toasty tobacco core. It's smooth, which is true. It's slow burning, again, which is true. It's quite zesty, full flavored, and as they say, unlimited. These are the expectations. Let's let the cigar settle in for some time, and I'll get back to you at the next stage and see if it actually meets those expectations. Hi guys, just let it settle in for some time. The construction on this is beautiful. I don't know how they've done it, but they've constructed it in such a way that it is a slow burner. No matter how much, and I'm an aggressive puffer of cigars, so I like to really draw into the smoke, into the cigar, and get as much smoke out as possible. It's not difficult, but it's a firm draw, which is interesting. So hopefully that produces a more restrained approach in me when I'm actually puffing the smoke, and hopefully results in a cooler burn as well. In terms of the aroma of the smoke, again, we were just looking at it, and I think when I first said that it smelt on a pre-light basis, it smelt of like a very old book. I think with the smoke itself, one of my friends, when he tried it, he said it's actually like going into a very, very ancient old library, and there are cobwebs and very kind of musty, but it's nonetheless pleasant. An experience in it. It was toasty, and just a bit before this, we did get some vegetal green characters coming through this on the palate. I think that must have been for about 5 or 6 puffs. That's actually dropped down again now, so that's reassuring. We thought, okay, if it's got this green kind of character, it's not going to go through the whole length of the cigar, we hope. And our expectation was that no, it should just be a slight anomaly, and it would get back on form and on tune with the other characters which it was actually supposed to exhibit. And in that sense, it certainly is doing so. That green note has actually dropped down quite drastically. In fact, I'm not picking anything up. What I am picking are beans, leather, coffee. There's not much sweetness in this. Dark chocolate. And the interesting thing is, I would again rate this as a full-bodied smoke. This does have a very rich flavor, and compared to other Nicaraguan cigars, yes, it is very full-bodied. Some I found to be very light, but this certainly isn't. It has lots of flavor, bold flavors actually coming out. Some of the peppery peppery quality is picked up. But again, I'm just getting on the aroma of the smoke. I just had a faint whiff of flowers. I don't know. My friends who tried this, they were having some difficulty trying to locate that, pinpoint that. Yes, the books there, old books, bookshelves and library is there. The leather is there. Toasted tobacco is there. Coffee, espresso is there. But just once in a while I get that aroma of flowers. The peppery quality is picking up on the palate. It's not overpowering, but it is there along with the presence of that coffee bean. dark roasted coffee bean. On the aftertaste there is a residual green quality coming through again, so I don't know if this is coming back as a wave. I'll let this go burn for some more time and then get back with you if there are any other changes. Hi guys, it's changed again. The aroma on this is wonderful. There was some sweetness which we actually picked up on this, like sugarcane. And in trying to identify that old book kind of character to it, I think it's quite interesting that, going back to the cigar box, that they have this band made out of Hessian. And it has that kind of smell, that Hessian kind of smell. Not necessarily green, not necessarily hay, none of that. It's just got that interesting aroma to it. And now it is that sweet character coming out. So some of that bitter dark chocolate has released some of its sugar, and it's certainly a lot sweeter than it was before. Again, the draw is very good, and it's forcing me to actually puff away on the cigar at a much slower rate. It's still surprisingly cool. So, going to some of the other Vitolas in the range, in the Diesel Unlimited range. And why is it called Unlimited, by the way? It's simply because it's not a limited stock. They plan to, they've launched this and they plan to make it available generally and on a regular basis. So it's been described as full-bodied, and I would agree with that. It is certainly a full-bodied, rich cigar. In terms of the shapes, you get Bellicoso, you have the Gordo, Perfecto, Presidente, and this, which is the Robusto. The wrapper, as I said, was a Habano, and the origin is from Nicaragua. Filler is also Nicaragua. All in all, a very good smoke. In terms of price point, we're looking at between 750 to 900 rupees, depending on the particular size and shape of the cigar. So again, a very good smoke for that particular price point. And this cigar, I could see myself probably taking about 45 minutes to an hour. If I was more gentle with the smoke, with the puffing away of the cigar, I would give it about 45 minutes to an hour, which is quite slow for me. And I think it's a measured smoke in that context. It is offering a lot of flavours. I'm getting that Hessian again coming back. The sweetness has gone down a bit. The way the ash is just lying there perfectly for us to tip it out. It's really constructed well. I'll let this settle for some more time and get back to you at the next. Hi guys, welcome back. That was a brief interlude because it changed very quickly. What we got was some creaminess which was actually coming out of this cigar. It hits you at the back of the top of your soft palate, you could say, at the top of your throat, and it just slides down nicely. That was a pleasant experience. Also, I didn't want to go on about this earlier because I wasn't really detecting anything in a strong, anything noticeable about that, but going back to a tannic kind of taste, no, it doesn't have that. Again, when my friend tried it out, we just went through it, and the best description was it had a fruity, there was a certain kind of fruit and that certain kind of piquancy, and I think the closest approximation to that was a pomegranate. Having that pomegranate kind of taste. When you peel the skin of the pomegranate, it's not the pomegranate itself, but that skin which actually has that smell, and if you have just a quick taste of it, this has something very similar to that. Yeah, very creamy. Has that pomegranate kind of character to it. Along the other flavors are still there, but there's nothing peppery or spicy. Just nice, pleasantly toasted tobacco with that fruitiness of pomegranates, and also to round it off, a finish of cream going down. It sounds surprising to describe this all coming from a cigar, and these are rough approximations, but I think they're the best ones we could actually, these are the best terms that we could find to actually identify these characteristics in the cigar. So far it hasn't disappointed. It certainly is a bold smoke, and it certainly does offer a lot of flavours. Sometimes, again, we were just discussing this, we thought, rather than, cigars can be a selfish pleasure, a selfish enjoyment, and through our process we're discovering that sometimes it's actually nice to be in the presence of someone else smoking the cigar and just appreciating the smoke, which encompasses the whole room. I remember on one or two other cigar reviews we were just talking about giving the cigar to a friend and letting that person smoke it, and we just enjoy the experience of the aroma. I think this cigar fits into that category as well. Having said that, in this context, this cigar also offers a lot for the selfish pleasure of the taste and the experience on the palate you experience. It's getting a bit tangier now. I'll let this settle for a bit longer and get back to you. It's settled in somewhat, and again we're getting some really interesting profiles, taste and aroma profiles on this. It's actually, the sweetness is still there, and it's more of a dark, really rich, full-bodied, an espresso. We've been measured in the way we smoke the cigar, but still there was that natural tendency to smoke on it aggressively. But because of its construction, it's actually stopped us from doing that, which has actually made the taste experience much more enjoyable. Sweetness has gone down, the cream is still there. Now I'm just getting some flavours of that Hessian coming back. So it's interesting because it's just offered a nice range of flavours. Nothing too harsh and nothing bland about it, so it is an interesting smoke. This has been an interesting experience. I'm picking up, again on the aroma, this chocolatey aroma of the smoke, and also tinged with a certain floral note. It just comes and then disappears very quickly. So going back with that book motif, this has been an interesting experience smoking the cigar. Why the book motif? Because from the start to the finish, it's been a very good read or a very good smoke. From that musty kind of book smell and leather and aged quality, it has delivered various kinds of taste experiences throughout. And this is like the best bit when you're reaching the end of the book, and all's well and ends well with this book, and it ends well with this cigar as well. It's just giving its final flourish. It's been a very interesting smoke and quite a revelation. Yes, it is a bold smoke. Yes, it has flavors which have bean, coffee bean, dark chocolate, which then turns sweet. It has that certain creamy element to it. There was some fruitiness as well with the pomegranate, and now we're finishing off with that final flourish of that dark chocolate and floral note. The palate-wise, now this cigar has nicely stayed in between the two, not being overtly over the top in terms of flavour, but definitely not bland in any way at all. So a good bold smoke with interesting flavours and no just hints of certain expectations that you have. For example, the peppery quality, the spicy quality, but not overpowering. So for the price point, a very good cigar. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. And what would accompany this? Again, I was talking with my friends, and we were thinking barbecue. No, that doesn't really work. This one works nicely with grilled meats and salads, and it provides a nice variety with that. So just imagine on a nice warm day you're having some grilled food and salads and a nice bottle of wine. This would certainly be a really great accompaniment to that. So I'll end the review on this now. Hope you like the review. If you have any comments, good, positive criticism, please do put that up on our YouTube page. Ideally, please give us a thumbs up and a subscription on YouTube. And the boys are also on YouTube, Facebook and on Twitter, and they'd be more than happy to provide good guidance and help in choosing your cigars. So once again, thank you for your time, and hope to see you again soon.